One of my easiest cases involved the famous singers Karina Kapadia and Bobby Dylan. Both women liked jewellery, especially pearls. Although we had never met, we were all travelling on the same train, along with Professor Graham Arian and Harumi Kaga, the famous chef. I was drinking a cup of tea when I was summoned to solve a little mystery. Bobby was in the lounge carriage being served a drink and put her pearl necklace on the table. She then went out to have her nails manicured and closed the door. She was seen leaving by the famous chef Harumi Kaga. The train's speed increased and the necklace fell off the table. Another famous singer, Bollywood star Karina Kapadia, was also travelling on the train. She proceeded to put her own pearl necklace on the table before leaving the lounge. Professor Graham Arian saw her go out.
My necklace has vanished.
Karina entered and looked for her necklace. It too had vanished.
My necklace has been stolen.
What are you doing at my table?
This is my table.
This is my table. My necklace has been stolen and it was given to me by Prince Wolfgang.
My love.
Gorgeous.
My necklace has been stolen and it was given to me by Prince Wolfgang.
My love.
It's beautiful.
He gave it to me first.
What's the matter?
Someone's stolen my necklace.
My necklace has been stolen.
Are you sure? Who could have stolen them?
I think it was an employee of the railway.
Or maybe you have them both.
Dear, I think we should get Miss Perrault to come and help.
I was sitting in the library car having a cup of tea with sugar and lemon as I was suffering from a terrible cold. The hot tea quickly dissolved the sugar, and I was enjoying a book which discussed different people's use of the English passive. But Professor Graham Arian interrupted me.
Miss Perrault, I'm so sorry to disturb you, but your presence is required.
Of course. What's happened?
Someone's taken my necklace.
My necklace has been stolen.
And
Prince Wolfgang gave it to me. He's stolen it, I'm sure.
I've been called many things in this job, but I've never been called a thief.
You ought to be arrested.
Has anyone looked under that napkin?
Aha! A napkin on the floor. It's my job to pick it up.
It looks as though nothing has been stolen. The necklaces must have dropped onto the floor and got covered by that napkin. As this story shows, facts need to be analysed very carefully before anyone assumes the worst. Now, what have we learned about the passive? Do you remember Bobby Dylan's song at the beginning? Let's have a look at the words. I used to be so passive. Every door was closed to me. I used to be so passive. No door was opened to me. Then the door opened. It opened ergatively. So I pushed it open. I opened it actively. There are two passive verbs there. Every door was closed and no door was opened. And there are two active verbs. I pushed it open and I opened it actively. And did you notice another verb? The door opened. That verb is in the middle, between active and passive. It sounds as though the door opened by itself. That's sometimes called the middle voice, and those verbs are called ergative verbs. They can be active or passive, or somewhere in the middle. They're not the same as intransitive verbs, because intransitive verbs can't be passive. For example, I can say she cried, but not She was cried. So cry is not an ergative verb. Ergative verbs can work in all three ways. I opened the door was opened, and the door opened. There is a list of ergative verbs on the English for Uni website. When would you use active, passive or middle? You use the active voice, I opened the door, to stress the action and who did that action. You can use the passive, the door was opened, when it's not important who did an action or when you do not want to emphasize who did an action. And you use the middle, the door opened, when you want to avoid any mention of a person. We often use the active more when speaking and the passive more in scientific writing, but you can use ergative verbs anytime. The more involved you are with the action, the less likely you are to use the passive. For example, you wouldn't normally say, that flower was picked by me. You would only use the passive here if you were answering a question, such as, who was that flower picked by? Even that question is unusual, and it is more likely that someone would ask, who picked that flower? And you would answer, I did, or I picked that flower. But there are some verbs that are nearly always in the passive. For example, I was born in 1962, and he's called Professor Grahamarian. When we use the passive, we can choose to say who does the action, or we can leave them out. For example, Bobby was given a necklace by Prince Wolfgang, or just Bobby was given a necklace. It depends if we need to know who did the action. The person who does something is called an agent. Their name comes after the word by.
Singers Bobby Dylan and Karina Kapadia were rescued today by a man believed to be a secret agent.
We only need to include the agent if it's important to know that information. We could just say, singers Bobby Dylan and Karina Kapadia were rescued today. We would know that Bobby and Karina were safe, but we wouldn't know who rescued them. To emphasize the agent's involvement, we have to put them into the sentence. Singers Bobby Dylan and Karina Kapadia were rescued today by the secret agent Prince Wolfgang. In other cases, we don't need to know who did the action. For example, Prince Wolfgang likes his iced coffee shaken, not stirred. We don't need to know who is doing the shaking or stirring. It's the end result we are interested in. If you are using a passive construction, you should use a past participle after the verb to be. Some people wonder what the difference is between a past participle, like bored, and a present participle, like boring.
About my latest research project.
If you say, I was bored by Professor Grahamarian, that means that Professor Grahamarian bored you. You did not find him interesting. If you use a present participle, Professor Grahamarian is boring. That means that most people do not find him interesting. Boring is a present participle used as an adjective.
You don't use brown rice.
And here, Harumi Kaga is interesting, and Bobby and Karina are interested. It's a fascinating subject, and there are lots more explanations and exercises on the English for Uni website. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll finish my cup of tea. I'll have to get another cup made. This is terrible.
I used to be so passive.